Warning. Warning. The following video contains mature content not suitable for children or the easily offended. Please keep this in mind when watching. Thank you and please enjoy.
Unavowed is a dark fantasy point-and-click adventure game developed and published by Wadget Eye Games. You may know Wadget Eye from their other point-and-click games such as the Blackwell series. The game was first unveiled back in 2016 on the Adventure Game Studios forums before being released in August of 2018 to extremely positive praise and unexpected commercial success. Despite the limitations of the Adventure Game Studio engine, the team developed a beautiful, well-written game that immerses you in its gritty urban fantasy setting. So, what the frick is so intriguing about Unavowed? Our story begins on a rainy rooftop where a man is shouting to the heavens trying to exorcise a demon. He asks you some questions which determines your gender and origin story. You can pick from bartender, police officer, or professional liar. He then strikes you with lightning, causing you to have a flashback. Depending on the profession you picked, you'll play through a scene to give you some backstory about how you found yourself in this predicament. The basics are the same though. You deal with some problem someone you know is having, they give you a book and then...
Oh. This is a lot more violent than I thought it would be.
What the heck are you doing?
I thought this would be a bit more visually interesting than my standard form.
Okay, you do you, I guess. So it turns out you kinda sorta got possessed by a very evil demon and have been causing all sorts of chaos for the past year, but now you've been exorcised, hooray! You properly get introduced to Eli, a fire mage, and Mandana, a half-djinn. Two members of the Unavowed, a group of supernaturally charged people on a mission to destroy any evil that threatens New York. Making it back to the Unavowed headquarters, you meet with their leader, Kalash, a powerful djinn and Mandana's father. He explains that you've been hired because their employee retention rate is at an all-time low, so even former mass-murdering possessed bartenders get the gig. You're then tasked to work with your team to fix the messes your demon made and find out its true intentions. During your time out, you meet with a man named Logan, a bestower, aka Ghost Whisperer, who's accompanied by a young spirit guide named KK.
They keep going on about some weird mobile game. Wait, have we actually been sponsored by a raid?
Nope, shut it down. The last member of your team you meet is Vicky, a former police officer from Staten Island. Her special skill is gun haver. Your companions have pretty well-rounded and fascinating backstories. Mandana is a skilled fighter who has lived for an exorbitant amount of time and is the daughter of a djinn and a legendary pirate. Eli is a fire mage who had to leave his family to ensure their safety. Logan is a spirit medium and recovering alcoholic who works with KK to help spirits pass on. Finally, there's Vicky. She talks like this.
So tell me, you gaslighting
Censor.
why single me out?
Which pretty much tells you all about her character. The city of New York is dense, dirty, and very wet. The citizens that populate it come in all shapes, sizes, and varying degrees of supernatural abilities. From Callie, the girl who assaults your ears with slam poetry.
I saw a pink dog by the side of the road. He looked up and gave me a wink. Then I helplessly watched as I saw him explode. I may have been dreaming, I think.
To Wing, the cranky owner of a restaurant in Chinatown.
I'll kick your ass. Shut up.
Everyone you meet has their own life, their own ambitions, and generally are hiding a lot from you until you click on the right spot. There are some very interesting twists later on, but the story isn't something so out there that you won't be able to follow along. I find that the characters really bring the story to its full potential, and the writers manage to walk the fine line of serious and humorous, sprinkling in some witty banter between characters. The gameplay is a pretty bog-standard point-and-click with lots and lots and lots of dialogue. Each area is mission-based and you get a selection of them at different intervals and can do them in whatever order. Once you have your 4 amigos, you can choose 2 of them to go on the mission with you.
But either Eli or Mandana have to be in the party. Logan and Vicky can't go together, but Eli and Mandana are able to both be in the party.
Thank you for making that more complicated than it needed to be. As with most other point-and-click games, you'll be collecting items and solving puzzles as well as as talking to a slew of NPCs. The puzzles range from very easy to let's just click on everything on screen. Because you can pick who goes with you, the puzzles have very simple solutions, and you either have to go around the map collecting a bunch of random items, or just have someone use their special ability to do all the hard work for you. Mundana is basically a lockpick / lie detector. Eli can throw fire and also read any documents that have been burned. Logan can talk to ghosts to gain information, and Vicky can shoot things and make snarky remarks. Usually if you exhaust everyone's dialogue, someone will just yell the answer at you. You'll probably be spending more time just talking with people to gather information to further progress the story, and only doing puzzles when someone doesn't feel like sharing their life story with you. You may also get special choices depending on your origin. Later levels definitely have more creative ways to solve problems, but a lot of the time your first idea will work out for you. Eventually you get to the end of a mission where you'll be asked to make a choice. Usually a pretty difficult one involving conflicting ideals and your own morality, and these can have major effects on the ending, so please think very well before making a big decision. And that's basically it for the gameplay. Point and click games don't exactly have the most complex mechanics. There is a lot of dialogue, and I would highly recommend talking with your fellow Unavowed between missions, as this will give you some good insight to their own morals as well as their backstory. So simple puzzles with creative solutions and mountains upon mountains of dialogue make a game that definitely appeals to those who want a more story-focused experience. The pixel graphics are gorgeous. Let's start with the characters. The full body sprites are simple but distinct enough to stand out. While the animations can sometimes be a bit jank, they do the job. The designs fit the setting well without having to be overly elaborate. The character portraits are just beautiful. The quality of the art is insane. The city streets of New York are diverse and more often than not drenched in rain.
I don't like the rain. It messes with my circuit.
Holy crap, are you okay?
I'm good.
There we go, all better.
Back alleys and streets are lined with graffiti. Parks have a warmer atmosphere while the police station feels cold and isolated. The more fantastical elements are a sight. From the grotesque to the ornate, the monster designs are a real treat, at least when they're not eating your face off. All the surreal locations like the ice skating rink in the sky are otherworldly and feel very dangerous. Honestly, I'm not usually the biggest fan of pixel graphics, but this game's style makes me appreciate it a whole lot more. The sound design is a mixed bag, so let's start with the good. The OST is actually quite long. Around an hour and 45 minutes of slow jazz, epic orchestra, and super duper creepy eerie music that makes me question my sanity. Thomas Regan. Thank you. Did an excellent job on the soundtrack. The jazz gives the investigation part some more noir type vibe, and when
Censored.
hits the fan, the orchestra kicks in. The voice acting ranges from excellent to, well, at least you read the script. Mundana, Eli, and the rest of the Unavowed are well done and have a really good range of emotions. Some side characters are also good and feel very natural, but some of them are a bit flat in their delivery. The other unfortunate thing with the voice acting is the quality of the recordings varies wildly. Some of it is fine, but other lines sound really harsh, and you can tell that they weren't recorded in the same environment.
Hey Chipman, you got paying customers. You want to stay open or what?
Fine. Sorry.
Eli seems like the worst offender for this.
Oh!
While his acting is solid, the sound quality bounces all over the place for him. Vicky has my favorite performance in the game.
What? He's being eaten? Are we safe in here?
Life energy does not kill. We should be safe.
Fine. But if I turn into Plant Woman, I'm coming after you.
Everything she says just comes out so natural. Nothing seems forced, and the actress nailed her personality. So while some rocky sound issues and performances may creep in from time to time, the overall package is still pretty well done.
You declared having to make choices with contradictory scruples. Care to elaborate a tad more on that?
I mean, sure, but why that specifically? And are you sure you're okay?
The concept of anthropological ethics fascinates me. When confronted with quandaries that aren't clear-cut, what do individuals elect to do? What drives them to make such demanding choices?
Did your short circuit hit you in the thesaurus?
I ought to go acquire some respite. Please linger on with the cinematographic.
Right. Moving on. Yeah, the whole moral choices in video games. It's something that tends to either go really well, or the choices are so black and white that they might as well be labeled be a saint or be an asshole. The choices in Unavowed tend to lean towards more moral dilemmas. Whichever choice you make will have a positive and negative effect. Everyone gains and loses something. Nothing is ever clean. Even the more demonic of souls may be victims rather than villains. Your companions will comment on your actions and give input from their own moral standpoint. It's less like good versus bad and more like mercy versus judgment. It gives a lot of depth to the choices so they don't feel like just binary decisions. Unavowed pulled me in with its dark and fantastical world and kept me invested with its characters. While the puzzles might not have been the biggest challenge, the moments between characters and unfolding the story more than made up for it. Great visuals and music top off this amazing gem of a game. The game is available to play on PC and Mac. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and I hope your day is filled with jazz music and autumn winds.